Why haven't you just transitioned?
It's always somebody just seems to be leaving whenever I get success.
This is a trauma response.
That was the first time I actually noticed this.
You don't believe that that is a business model that you can turn around?
Wedding invitation designers, where they're not having that success.
It's just a mindset block.
Yes, I know it is.
Do you actually enjoy sales?
I've been at this for 17 years.
You feel safe when you're playing small.
I never looked at it that way.
You're in a season of stuck, right?
Yes.
I need you to experience a win. Start saying success is safe. Hey, and welcome to another episode of Full Transparency with Donni Wiggins, where I talk to you about business strategies, business tips. You guys, I'm your favorite business coach, so it wouldn't be right if you didn't get to see me coaching entrepreneurs every now and then through their current struggles and transitions that they're experiencing in their business, and that is what we're focused on today. I have a mentorship community called Actionable CEO. It's for entrepreneurs who are interested in personal, professional, and financial development. And as a perk of that community, which you need to be in, Zell, why are they not members of Actionable CEO? It's not like I don't give them a free 7-day guest pass if they just go to actionableceo.com. You get to try it out 7 days for free. And then you too can be like our next guest who's here to get some coaching in her business. As a perk of Actionable CEO, you get to get coached on the Figuring It Out with Donni edition of Full Transparency. And so that brings us to our guest today, Miss Judene McCalla. She is the wedding invitation extraordinaire, but I don't want to do too much in telling you all about her business. Let's bring Judene up on screen and let her tell us about her fantastic business. Hey, Judene.
Hi, Donni. Thanks for the introduction. I am Judene McCalla. I own See You There Invitations located in Windsor, Ontario. I designed custom wedding stationery for couples that fits them so perfectly that when their guests receive their invitation, they say, "That's so you." And I'm currently transitioning over to help wedding invitation designer attract their dream clients by teaching proven sales and consultation strategies so that they can book more weddings and have a profitable business.
Okay. So wedding invitations, it stops there. So you're like maybe the first call. I guess you're getting maybe the save the dates and the wedding invitations as well.
Yes.
Yes. And is that a pretty
Yep. I
profitable
get
business?
I get the entire thing. So I do from the save the dates, the invitations, and the day of stationery.
The day of stationery. Okay. So anything that has to do with like the paper product, the stationery, all that stuff, that's what you take care of.
Yes.
Are these also
Yes.
digital?
Mostly what I focus is actually paper. My clientele tend to still like the feel of luxury. They like the high quality paper. So no, it's actually paper.
Okay.
First save the dates, yes, digital.
Okay. And you operate solely right now out of Ontario, California.
Ontario, Canada.
Ontario, Canada. I didn't mean California. Ontario, Canada. You're in Ontario, and that's where you primarily operate right now. Okay, from
Yes.
Jamaica, but you're operating in Ontario. Why haven't you taken this beyond Ontario?
Again, the aspect when I originally started, it was more everybody liked to come in and feel like they want to feel the invitations. Um, and that's why it was actually local before. And then it started to expand as people discovered me. It's kind of expanded to Ontario. And then COVID kind of made it more so it's online so that I was able to expand more to the US.
Okay, hold on, because I thought we were operating mainly in Ontario. So for clarity, because the audience doesn't know anything about your business, you have a local shop in Ontario.
Yes.
Okay.
I
And so
So I have a local shop here, but I do as of COVID, when COVID happened, I started to do appointments via Zoom and some in person.
okay.
So when I started to do it via Zoom, I was able to expand out of Ontario.
Okay. So now you are actually servicing clients as well in the United States.
Yes.
Ma'am, I asked you that before. We're local.
Ontario said Canada and US.
Okay, all righty. But you also mentioned that you're ready to transition out of actually creating and designing wedding invitations. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I since about 2019, I knew I wanted to do mentorship. I just had this thing in my heart that I wanted to teach. Ever since I was a kid, actually, I knew I wanted to teach. Um, but because COVID happened in 2020, I kind of put that on the back burner. COVID was terrible for weddings, to be honest. It was because I'm in Ontario, so we were locked down from March 2020 to March 2022. So
Okay.
for a full 2 years, we were locked down. So there was no weddings for those 2 years. And plus, couples take 2 to 3 years from when they meet to get engaged. So it's been hard on the wedding industry. And I've been able to come back up, but I've seen others where they're not having, wedding invitation designers, where they're not having that success.
Okay. So you don't believe that that is a business model that you can turn around?
No, I'm turning it around actually because I did rebrand it in October 2023. I rebranded my business. It took a while for it to rebound, about a good 7 months for it to even rebound, but it's rebounding. But I just don't. I love weddings, but I don't love the joy of, I guess, not to no shade, but working with brides, like couples anymore. I see the where invitation designers are struggling more, and my draw and pull to help them more right now.
Okay. So you've got the bridezillas that are scaring you away, or the super picky brides that are scaring you out of this or turning you off from this industry. But that's interesting because you want to transition into coaching other
Mhm,
up and coming invitation designers, stationary wedding stationary designers.
mhm.
What do you tell them when they say the same thing to you? Well, I don't know if I want to do this because I don't like dealing with the personality of the bride and the demand of the husband and the wife, or the bride and the groom. What do you
But
say
then
to that?
I don't. I guess this is what they chose. It's not necessarily the personality of the brides and the groom. I just lost that love of. To be honest, it's not the brides and groom. I love the consultation. The reason why I'm going into doing sales, in fact, it's because I'm good at that. When it comes to consultations, it's not about the concept. It was about the conversation itself that we're having. I love that aspect of it. What
Okay.
I don't, I guess, right now is doing the mock-ups, the design part of it, the going
Okay.
back and forth of it.
Why
That's what I
not
don't.
why not delegate that to someone who can do that part for you?
I thought about it too, but again, the joy of this business. I've been at this for 17 years.
Okay.
It's just not the same. And I, I'm gonna say something like I've never dreamed like most people dream, but some people can't remember their dreams. I could not remember the dream for the longest time. But 6 months ago, I started to like read my Bible and just get more in touch and get closer to God. And all of a sudden, I'm dreaming.
Mm,
And I remember thinking one day, I said to myself, how do I resurrect myself from doing invitations for so long and, to do something else? And I literally said that word, how do I resurrect myself? And I read a daily Bible. And it just so happens, it's not like from Genesis to Revelations. It's literally just a daily Bible, so I don't know what's coming. That same day when I said that, I remember reading about raising Lazarus from the dead. That same day again, I was walking and I needed to watch. So I was just bored, and I was walking back and forth in my apartment, and I was bored, and I literally went and I watched a show, and the show said it was like the detectives found a body, and they said the woman wasn't actually dead, and they said it's the Lazarus effect. So I'm
mm,
like, I was thinking about this business at the same time. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting signs to go to this direction. And then you just happened to come along that January 30th, you did the motivational meeting was about a lion, how a lion is not the king of the jungle, they're not the fastest or anything like that. Again, I went to go read my Bible and it was talking about the lion is the beast. And I'm just getting different sign about raising my confidence because I always have confidence. I look at other salespeople and be like, okay, they've been at this for a long time. Who am I to do this? But then I have to keep reminding myself that they had to start somewhere.
Congratulations, entrepreneur. You made the decision that this will be your biggest and best year ever in business. And I am so excited for you. It's just that you're missing something: the accountability and the mentorship that you said you need, the accountability and the mentorship that you said you were going to get this year. I know you're missing it because I'm not mentoring you inside of my community, Actionable CEO. I see everybody else. I'm looking through the names as I speak right now, and I'm seeing all the names, but I don't see yours. See, Actionable CEOs have something in common. They have three things in common, in fact. They are disciplined. They are action takers. They invest in themselves. But my favorite one is that they are action takers. Oh, wait, no, my favorite one could be that they're disciplined. It could also very much be that they invest in themselves. See, you can't do one without the other if you want major results. So I'm inviting you to check out my community, my mentorship community for entrepreneurs who are interested in personal development, professional development, and financial development. And you want to have a whole lot of fun connecting with other people in the community to network with. If I'm your girl, if I'm your person, if I'm your vibe, check out actionableceo.com right now to see if my mentorship community is the right one for you. In fact, I know it is. So just go there and hit register, join now, whatever. I'll see you on the inside. Bye. So you're feeling deeply connected and pulled into this new phase, this next journey. Let's talk about the
Yes.
success of what you've been able to create and making sure that coaching is the next step that makes sense for you, right? At the height of your
Yeah.
business, from a success perspective, from a revenue perspective,
Mhm.
what's the most amount of money you've made in a 12-month period of time?
96K in profit.
96K in profit. I love that.
Yeah.
Tell me the revenue number though, as well.
It was 150, 158.
Okay, so
Because I
150,
yeah.
158 total sales, 96K. Was that
Mm-hmm.
96K in profit? Okay. So we're near a six-figure business. You are a six-figure business. And I asked for that revenue number because when we're looking at a physical product like this, some of your future students may have access to less expensive inventory, or they may have financial strategies that keep them in a different profit margin than maybe you were implementing in your own business. So I wanted to know both numbers, right? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you've had a six-figure business in this business. I like that very much. You've got 17 years experience in this industry. Let's talk
Mm-hmm.
about client satisfaction. Do you have a lot of clients that have just been overjoyed with your work?
I do. I can honestly say I do. So I have after I'm done working with them, usually I send out the ones that I actually love working with. I usually send out an email to ask them to do a Zoom, like a 30-minute Zoom with them to find out why they chose to go with me. You know, if I could improve anything, what were they looking for? And when I always ask them, why did you choose to go with me? It was like, or your rapport. You always ask us how we met. You always try to get to know us. You're personable and you were reliable. Once we leave you, we know you got it, kind of thing. So I've had so many raving reviews like that.
Okay, so we've got video testimonials that will support. Yes?
Yes,
Okay, the Zooms were recorded.
yes, they were all recorded. Yes.
All right. So we've got video testimonials that are that support the value that you've brought to your clients. You mentioned that you enjoy sales. You actually enjoy sales. What sales
Yes.
experience have you had before?
No, actually nothing. It was like just working with 17 years doing this, doing consultation, just perfecting it because it took me a while to figure out that this was even sales, kind of thing. Because I'm like,
Mhm.
it's just having a conversation with somebody. I did not realize it was sales until like I
Yep.
was listening to some like a coach or something, and they were like, when you're having a conversation, that sales is a conversation, and then it was kind of click in my head that all this time I've really
Yep.
been having sales. So yeah.
Sales is simply a series of successful conversations where both
Yes.
parties get the end result that they desire. That's it. That's it. People
Yes.
overcomplicate, Judene, the sales process. They are very apprehensive or very nervous going into a sales transaction. And that's because they're approaching it from a very transactional standpoint versus being able to communicate with someone what their needs are and how you can solve them, right? Getting to know someone, listening, giving feedback. It really is all it is.
Mhm.
So, if you were my one on one client, I would say that we have some great components in place to consider a coaching business. The next question I'd have is your ability to teach.
Okay. Um, I guess that's where I probably need to work on my ability to teach because people always say I'm in these groups with Facebook with other wedding stationers, and they always come back and say to me, "You come again. You come with the right attitude. You come with that no BS attitude, but professional." That's what they
Mhm.
always say to me. But I want to be able to teach. I don't want to tell them what to do, kind of thing.
Okay.
So I think I need to work on that. The no BS attitude.
Mm. There's not necessarily anything wrong with the no BS attitude, but in your industry specifically, thinking about the type of people that you would attract, like the type of people who work with weddings, they I would think, and I could be wrong, but I would think that they're very fun, very outgoing, very much about their business. I think that the only person who's really no BS is the wedding coordinator themselves. But you're saying no. So you guys are just out here being gangsta in these streets, basically.
They're not very outgoing. Well, let me tell you that. That's one thing they always say. That's why I want to focus on the consultation part because
Okay.
they are not outgoing at all. They always say, I'm an introvert, I'm a people pleaser. Um, I don't know how to run a consultation. They literally go in a consultation and say, I can do this, I can do watercolor, I can do calligraphy, I can do this. And that's
Okay.
what it is. That's what you think a consultation is. But they don't want to sound, they always say to me, I don't want to sound salesy. So
Mm.
they're not exactly they're introvert, they're in their own world, they're in their little corner kind of thing.
Hmm.
And they're so much a people pleaser.
So maybe being exactly who you are is the right approach. Maybe it's not shifting necessarily from a no BS approach. And I'm only suggesting that because I'm known, my reputation is for having a no BS approach, right? But but I also have a very layered personality, and the reason that mentees and clients and students choose to work with me has a lot to do with my approach, right?
Mhm.
And so I don't know that I would necessarily shift my approach if it works. If people are learning and they're getting it, always kind, right? No BS
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you're a terror to deal with. It doesn't mean that you're mean. It doesn't mean that you're telling people off. Never, ever that, right? But I'm
Mm.
serious about the result. I am serious about helping you, and I want to make sure you're getting the information. That's more so the no BS approach. All of that coupled with a strong ability to not allow anybody to feed you excuses that you know aren't sufficient. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and actually, that's what. Thanks for the clarification, because in my mind, I was thinking more like a bully, but that does make sense in terms of like the clients I seem to attract, because people do come into my DMs now and ask me advice instead of asking in the Facebook group. They'll be like, "I don't want to ask in the group. I'm going to ask you because you have this, no BS attitude, and you're always professional about it." So
Hmm.
that kind of jive with that, what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure. Now, the transitioning into this coach for wedding invitation designers, what's been your current struggle that you're dealing with? Why hadn't you just, you're 17 years in business, you've got this experience, you've built a six-figure business at this point in time, and technically you've made six figures over and over and over again at this point over 17 years. Why haven't you just transitioned?
It is a fear of success. It literally is. Every time I go to a higher level, it's somebody leaves, somebody dies, and it's not just financial level. It's more like working at one point, I was like really fit, and as soon as it got to the point, my aunt died, and as soon as something happened, it's like I'll have this like accountability partner at the gym, and she left, and it's always somebody just seemed to be leaving whenever I get success, and I just can't get that out of my head to move ahead, to move forward in this. I keep thinking, I see um, other educators, and I'll be like, well, they're doing this, why should I do it? I keep questioning that too. Even though I have the experience, I keep questioning that.
Hmm.
And plus,
Okay.
too, my mom and my sister sometimes are in my head. So
They're
they're,
sometimes in your head.
yeah, because our upbringing is that, we should never depend on people. And my sister actually said it the other day, like she needed help with something, and people wouldn't help her. And she's like, it's the one thing I remember our grandmother teaching us is not to depend on anyone.
Mm,
So that thought is always in my head. So I try not to tell them anything and just do it, and then I tell them after I've done it. My sister recently said to me, "You've surprised me in life." And
mhm,
I asked her, what does she mean by that? And she's like, when we were kids, I didn't talk. People thought I was deaf because when I say I did not talk, I did not talk.
mm.
And he said, you up and you were like a bookworm. You kept to yourself, and you got at 16. You just got up and you found a job, and you get up every day, even though you weren't a morning person. You would get up every day for the summer to be at work at 8. You left home, which nobody expected you to leave home and go to school. You
Yeah.
started a business. I started to learn French. So all that stuff, like I surprise them, but in a way, I don't tell them stuff till I do it because of the negativity.
Yeah, for sure. That's really deep. That is
Yes.
really deep, especially the part where you said when you feel like when you have success, someone dies or essentially abandons you, right?
Yeah.
And so typically, when I'm working with clients who have a fear of success, typically I'm able to just easily say to them, it's just a mindset block, and we just have to have a mindset shift, right? But when we're
Mhm.
talking about that specific concern that you have or that specific fear that you have, this is beyond just a mindset block.
Mhm.
This is a trauma response. It's a trauma
Exactly.
response that's tied to grief, is tied to abandonment. And because these things are happening or syncing with the schedule of what you perceive your success calendar is, now you view success as being emotionally unsafe.
Yes.
If I make it too big, then your brain is constantly anticipating the doomsday. Something's going to happen. Someone's going to leave. There's not going to be any explanation. Someone's going to pass away. And because this is a response that you've likely built up since your childhood, listening to how withdrawn and maybe internally reserved you were during your childhood, there's likely some really deep trauma there that maybe you have or you haven't yet resolved, right? And I would guess that you have not resolved this particular trauma. And maybe as a little girl, maybe when you did do well, right, you didn't really fully feel celebrated. It comes from sometimes feeling a little ridiculed sometimes when we're kids, not getting the celebration from our parents that we want, or maybe there was a family member, close friends, maybe you moved away and you left a bunch of friends and this was supposed to be a good transition for you, but it didn't feel good to you. A lot of times when we think back on our childhood, those are the things that have all been building up over the years, over time. And now it's created this trauma response inside of you. It's like your nervous system now begins to respond. Your nervous system begins to respond. And these things like death and abandonment or someone moving on with their lives, to you, it feels like punishment. To you, it feels like isolation, emotional isolation, physical isolation. To you, you start to feel like, have I done something to cause this, right? And if you're really religious and spiritual, sometimes people even feel like, is it possible that I'm sacrificing everything around me for this perceived success, right? Because a lot of times as small children, we operate sometimes, we do things that we don't want to do because we just want our parents to be happy, We just want the people that are responsible for us to be happy. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to sacrifice something over here just to make him or her happy. And this is a trauma response. When I do well, someone that I love goes away, whether permanently or not permanently. If I shine too bright, I'm going to turn someone off and I'll end up being left behind, right? Every time something great happens for me, something bad follows. This is your nervous system responding. And this is what's called, I pulled up some notes here because I dealt with a client several years ago who had a very similar situation. And we partnered with a therapist because I'm not a therapist. Okay. I'm a business coach, but I'm not a licensed therapist. But I did take some notes from that conversation. A lot of things made sense to me because I see this a lot. There are a lot of successful people who are having survivor's remorse or success remorse, meaning I feel bad when I win. I feel bad for not suffering the same way we were able to suffer together. You can take notes for sure. I feel bad. And so this therapist said that this is a protective mechanism. This is the brain trying to get ahead of the problem to shield you, to protect you from pain. This is what makes you feel safe. Okay? Small. You feel safe when you're playing small. You feel safe when the attention is not on you. And as hard as it may be to accept this, you feel safe being stuck.
Mhm.
Hmm You feel safe being stuck. And I see that. And this isn't necessarily a problem that you and I solve, right? It's about giving you the awareness of it. Nope, I'm aware of it. When it's just like, you know that if you punched a wall, you know in advance your hand is going to hurt, right? You know if you fall down and scrape your knee, you know in advance there will be blood, right? So the body doesn't allow you to necessarily freak out as if it were the unknown because you expected. It hurts. That was supposed to happen. Well, now you have to understand, or you should work on trying to reframe your brain, right? Into believing that when I create success, great things are going to happen. You have to also understand that because we can't possess people and we're not in ownership of them, people get to leave. They get to walk away from us, right? There's not anybody that's necessarily guaranteed to be in our lives over a period of time. But I would even go another layer and say, because this is the trauma response that you have and this is your protective mechanism. I'm not talking about death right now and losing loved ones. What I'm talking about are like the accountability partners that go away. Sometimes when we shrink ourselves, we attract other shrunken people.
Mhm.
Okay. We attract other people who are also shrinking themselves. And so now what happens is when you guys are holding each other accountable, you're trauma bonding. You're two broken people who are shrunk. Is shrunk the word? You're shrunk. You're comfortable being unseen, and your heart posture wants to come out of that. Your heart posture wants to survive that. But this protective mechanism that your brain has in place feels comfortable there. So there's a constant battle, and you two are trying to battle it out together. And you've created this trauma bond. And what happens is somebody breaks the chain. Somebody breaks the cycle. And when you break the cycle, it makes the other person feel too seen. She broke the cycle, and now all of the pressure is on me to do the same thing. I can't do it. I'm not ready yet. My body isn't responding. My brain isn't responding. My heart isn't aligned yet to overcome this protective mechanism that I've built through trauma. I've got to run. I've got to go hide. I've got to get away from her. She's doing too much. So I'm saying this to say that when you are in a place where these are your deeply rooted feelings, you are likely seeking out other people who have similar feelings. And you breaking through on your timeline doesn't always add up to them on their timeline. Does that make sense? Question.
Yes.
Your aunt
Mhm.
that passed, what did she pass away from?
That's another thing. Brain aneurysm. So, and that's another a whole other trauma actually, because we everybody says I look like her, I act like her. She actually did invitations when she was younger. I didn't know this, but everything about me is her. We used to both get migraines, headaches all the time,
Mhm.
and it just so happens that she passed away and she got a headache, and then it was just a brain aneurysm.
Mm. So that was
62.
sudden. It was sudden.
It was said that she had the aneurysm, but she was in the hospital for like 6 months
Okay.
before she passed. She was on going on her 10th surgery when she passed.
Wow. Tell me how your brain related that to your success.
Um, and it was a time when, again, it was what was happening at the time. It was physical. For me at this time, it was at my best shape ever. I had been in my best shape ever, and I was enjoying it, enjoying life.
Mhm.
And she just died. That was it. It was like, I'm always thinking, I'm comparing myself to her. I'm like, she's 62. She's so young. She's just
Yeah.
about to retire, and she passed away. Right?
Yeah.
Like our lives have mirrored each other, and that's what I think that's what it is too. Our
Yeah.
lives mirrored each other, and I think that was the first time I actually noticed this. Like after that, I kind of kept track of it.
Mhm.
That was the first time.
Mhm. I would imagine that the pain of that single and specific trauma is so painful because of how closely connected the two of you are. You speak alike, you look alike, you had some of the same health issues, and so what's most likely happening there, and again, I'm not a therapist. I've just worked with a lot of people who have experienced real life, right? I've coached a lot of entrepreneurs who have also simultaneously experienced real life, and I've also gone through my own share of stuff, right? So this is just girlfriend to girlfriend conversation right now.
Yeah.
Because of that closeness, that connection, and such similarity, right? Almost eeriness to other people, there's a part of you that is fearing having her same outcome.
Yes, I know it
Mhm.
is. Yes.
So my mom was pregnant with me, and her mom was healthy, upbeat. Everybody was excited about the baby, me. My mom's in the army. She is in Germany at the time, and she gets a phone call that she needs to come home. Okay. My mom is 22 years old. She gets a phone call that she needs to come home immediately. My grandmother had been diagnosed with lung cancer. A woman who has never smoked a cigarette a day in her life. It's 1978. At this time, lung cancer is really only connected to smoking, right? They don't understand it, but the doctors believe that they've caught it in an early enough phase that they can save her. My mom comes home. Her mom has surgery. The surgery goes well. The doctors tell my mom, as my grandmother is in bed recovering, that she can go home, she can get changed, get some rest for herself because she'd been in the hospital all this time. And while she's there, she gets a phone call. It says, "You need to come back to the hospital right now." Okay. You got to come right now. My mom gets back to the hospital and my grandmother passes away.
Oh my God.
There's really no explanation for it. At that time, there's not really enough research or knowledge about cancer. So you don't even know what questions to ask and where to start. But my mom is 22 years old at the time. My grandmother passed away at 42 years old.
Wow.
So I grew up as a little girl who I heard this story over and over and over again. When my mom turned 40, I started fearing every one of her birthdays because I am now the 20-year-old girl. And she's got these birthdays coming. And 41 came, and I took a deep breath. And, I'm scared to wake up because is my mom going to be here? Something going to happen because it happened to her mom. And I watched the pain that she carried of this One day she was here, the next day that she's not. We had all these plans. She was helping with the nursery. She bought you all these clothes. She was so excited for you. And, speaking about me, the baby, and then my mom's not here anymore. And so now I am terrified. Well, what would end up happening is I would get pregnant at 23 years old.
Uh-huh.
And now my mom is the same age as her grandmother. And I was scared to have this baby. I was afraid to have this baby because what if it happens to my mom? What if the same cycle repeats and I'm terrified? And I probably contributed to how sick I was during my pregnancy because I was just so stressed out over this, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, I would go on and I would have the baby and everything would be just fine. And I thank God. But then I start hearing things like, well, cancer skips a generation. My grandmother had it and it skipped my mom. Oh no, what if my name's what if it has my name written on it? And so I'm going through life, and at times you'll forget about this stuff. You don't feel this stuff every day. You don't wake up with this on your chest every single day. So you go through a season of life and you're not thinking about it, right? But every headache, I get migraines, every headache, every stomach ache, every pain, every leg pain. Is it this? Is it that? Is it the other thing? And it's approaching my 42nd birthday. And now I have the young daughter who's 18 years old. And my 42nd birthday is coming up. And I am scared out of my mind. I am afraid out of my mind. I can only focus on, please, God, don't take me away from her. She needs me. Please, please, please don't let it happen to me. To the point where I was avoiding doctor's appointments because I didn't want to get the diagnosis, because just as long as I didn't know about it, it can't happen. As long as I don't know about it, I can't stress myself up. I can't stress myself out enough to die, right? Because that's what happens. As soon as my grandmother found out about it, she was dead very shortly after. And so this is a story that I don't think I've ever publicly shared, but this is a trauma cycle that has gone now through 3 generations. My mom, myself, and if I don't break it, it will be my daughter, right? If I don't reframe it, I made it. Bad things happen to amazing people. But the truth is, my grandmother's passing had nothing to do with my mom. Now, my mom was married and she's in Germany. She's traveling the world in the army. She's living her life. She's at the height of her career at that time. She's found something. She's happy. And then she gets this tragic news and she suffered for years as a result. And if I'm being honest, she's possibly even still suffering now as a result of that. And then I turn around and it's learned behavior and I suffer. I fear. I'm scared to go to the doctor to get a migraine checked out because I don't want the worst. And there's no fixing for this. We just have to learn the language that takes us out of this loop. Okay? We have to learn the language that takes us out of this loop. Instead of saying that every time I am successful, someone leaves me, start saying success is safe. Success is safe, right? We know that death is the cycle of life. And what happened to your aunt was unfortunate, but not your fault. It's not in alignment with the level of success that you achieved. It is only in alignment with what was happening inside of her body. That's the unfortunate truth. Okay. It's not your fault. Because you look like her doesn't mean that the cycle will duplicate through you. This is not your burden to bear. And let me also say this, when we carry these burdens, we have the ability to make ourselves sick. And we have the ability to keep ourselves stuck by way of the language that we are using. And so we have to free ourselves by creating a different language loop. We have to create a different language loop. Success is safe. I can win and keep my peace. I can win and keep my friends. Everybody hasn't left your life, right? So
Yeah.
it is true that people who love me stay even when I grow. That's a language loop. Like every single time. What were you saying?
I love that. People love me when I love that.
People who love me stay even when I grow. People who love me stay even when I grow. God, I feel success is coming. I feel it's coming to me right now. I'm in a transitional phase and I know that this is going to be big. But in the past, I have let my success hold me back because I'm not prepared to lose another one. But God, in this season, I am trusting and believing that the people who love me stay even when I grow. That's the language. The people who love me stay. My joy does not cost me my connections. My joy does not cost me my connections. And so this could be hard for you, but I need you to experience a win. I need you to decide what a win looks like for you. And I need you to go out there and have a small win. And when you had that small win, I want you to just stop and be silent and look around. Check your phone. Are there any text messages from the family? Did anybody get hurt? Did anybody get hospitalized? Did anybody die? Call your two closest friends. Do they respond? Hey, girl, you
Mhm.
still there? I'm just checking. I just had a win. I'm just making sure you're still here. Because what's going to happen is when you have this win and you can immediately look, even if it's just for the next hour, that nothing bad happened,
Mhm.
then that protective barrier that your brain has in place will start giving your success more grace. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So, what are you afraid of right now in this season that success can possibly take away from you?
My mom has been having challenges. So again, it has nothing to do with me,
Mhm.
but she is my why. She wants to retire, but she's like to do that right now, and she's having health challenges right now. She's 69 years old. Actually, she's going to be 69 this year, and I want to be able to retire her. That is
Right.
my why. But at the
Mhm.
same time, she's sick. That she had. They said a mini stroke, but then they changed their mind and said it's a heart attack. So that's the fear I have right now of her being taken away.
Well, right now you're in a season of stuck, right?
Yes.
And unfortunate things are still happening. Unfortunate things are still happening. And you're not even feeling successful right now. But let me ask you this. You're afraid that your success will take away your mom because she's currently experiencing health issues. She needs to retire. She potentially had a stroke that's now been turned into a heart attack and all these things, and she's still working. Let me ask you this. What if, what could success give you to help her out? How could your success make this easier?
Having the money to retire her, having
Oh
the
my,
ability.
how could your success help? Write this down.
Mhm.
What if success gave me, insert, the money to retire her, maybe even now the ability to provide better medical treatment, maybe the ability to provide her some of her lifelong dreams worth of experiences. What if success gave you that ability? And one day we know, my mom is 69 too. We know that one day life ends. But what
Yes.
if today success gave you the money to make the rest of her life the best of her life? The money to provide experiences that you will remember, she will remember forever. The money to know that you gave her the best chance at fighting for her life through the best medical care, the money to give her the freedom of living stress free as a retired woman. What if success gave you that? Doesn't that matter too?
I never looked at it that way. Yes, it does. It does.
So we can stay stuck and afraid of success, for the very same reasons, or we can leverage these very same reasons. My mom is sick. This is going on. She needs to retire. Let me work hard so that success can give me. What if you spent the next 5 years watching your mom having to work and fight these health issues versus the next 5 years being the successful woman that you can be, giving her the stress free relief that she needs as a retired woman, fighting for her life, smiling, not worried about her medical condition. Pick your 5 years. Which next 5 years do you want?
Yeah. Yes.
I need to hear
She
you
wants.
say that.
Yes, she wants. I definitely want for her to have. Because right now, I actually asked her. I said, "What type of house do you want? You know what?" And I never knew this all this time. She's like, "I want a farmhouse where I can have a garden in the back with a
Mhm,
backyard." That's the vision I want for her, so that she's healthy. She has this garden in the back where she's gardening every day and doing all the stuff that she loves to do.
mhm.
That's the package I want for her.
That's the
With
life that you
good.
want. Can you provide that life stuck?
No, no, I cannot.
So the next 5 years for you, are you a woman who is stuck, or are you a woman who's doing everything possible to break that cycle to become successful?
The woman, the latter, to break that cycle.
We're breaking the
Definitely.
cycle. And we have to. And unfortunately, it's possible that this is a lifelong cycle that you have to be intentional about breaking, right?
Yeah.
But you deserve to free yourself from it. It's ironic that you said that your mom wants a farmhouse and she wants her garden in the background or in the backyard, because one of my favorite things to do, a technique that I learned in 2021, is grounding, which is connecting with the earth, right? So, one of the things that I was going to tell you, suggest to you, is that you create a safety plan. And in that safety plan, these are things that we do, or things that we intentionally make ourselves feel, or things that we remind ourselves of when fear flares up. And one of the things that got me through a period of time where I was at the height of my career, and also, having some feelings and emotions, is grounding. Going outside, walking barefoot on the earth, on the natural green earth, letting your feet hit that sand, or your feet hit that grass, and just absorbing the energy of God's creation. Hugging a tree. People think tree huggers are crazy, but they're happy and free for a reason. Hug God's creation. Walk outside. Your ability to provide that farm for your mom can also be your ability to help her heal herself through the same grounding that I was going to suggest for you. And if I am you, again, I'm not a therapist, and I'm definitely going to suggest that you continue this work with a therapist, right? I'm not a therapist, but if I am you, I'd have a target on being intentional about healing, and I see that farmhouse. I print out a picture of the farmhouse and the farm, and I'd
Good.
have it. I'd look at it everywhere. It would be on my steering wheel. It would be on my bathroom mirror. It would be taped to the side of my nightstand that I can see while I'm laying in bed. It would be in the front of my journal. It would be everywhere to remind myself that I feel the fear. I feel the fear, but the farmhouse is the goal. I see you, but not right now, because the farmhouse is the goal. Fear, I know that you're coming, but I cannot give you the attention because the farmhouse is the goal. Fear, I know that you're a natural part of my process, but I got to put you in timeout right now because the farmhouse is the goal. And you're
Yes.
the one, you're the only one who can make that happen. You're the only one, right? Who can make that happen. And whether it happens or doesn't happen, it's the process that you will go through, and the woman that you'll be able to come, and your mother being able to see the best of you right now, because that's what you guys deserve for each other. Your mom right now deserves to see the fearless version of you. She needs peace in knowing that there is somebody out there who is fighting for her behalf. And you need peace in knowing that if this is your biggest fear, You're doing everything possible. And it's not your burden to bear this guilt, right? But we all want to do what we can for our children and do what we can for our parents. And it's an honor, so to speak, that we get to provide in this way, but we can't do it stuck. So now, understanding that the only reason you aren't going big, there's people right now who are waiting for you. There's people right now who need to see you come out of this cycle. You're going to share this story on a big stage one day. You're going to tell this story to the world, and you're going to be telling it from a perspective of what you came through, what you got through, not what you're going through. Today you're going through it, but in a couple of years, you're going to be able to share this moment and say, this was the transitional moment for me that took me and my business to the next level. And this is how I've been able to provide as a result. You're not crazy because you're this talented and this capable and this qualified, but you're not doing anything. You're not crazy. You're not sabotaging yourself. You right now you've been protecting yourself. This is the only way you've known how to keep the people around you close to you. This is the only way because that's the connection that you've had, but it's time that now you understand that you're safe. Now you understand that you're safe. You were nervous as all get out to get on this podcast, but we made it. We made
No,
it.
but yes,
Nothing
we did.
happened. The house is
No,
still there. You're wearing a smile on your face. You are safe now, Judene. You're safe
yes,
now. You're sa-
yes.
I need to hear you say, I am safe now.
I
I
am
am
safe
safe
now.
now. I am safe now. Say it. I need to hear you say it over and over until I believe you and you believe it.
Safe
I am
now.
safe now. I am
I am
safe
safe.
now. I am
I am
safe
safe.
now. Keep it going.
I am safe now. I am safe now. I am safe now. I am safe now. I
Yes,
am
yes,
safe.
yes. I am safe
Safe.
now. I am safe
I
now.
am safe.
I am safe now. I am safe
Yes.
now. I did
I
something
am.
scary. I am
Yes.
safe now. I did something that I was afraid of, but I am
Yep.
safe now. You know what? My success is safe now.
Yes.
My success creates safety for others. Write that down. You say it every day. My
Okay.
success creates safety for others.
Okay.
Judene, you're allowed to win.
Thank
You're
you.
allowed to win. And loss is not the prize that you get for winning.
Okay.
All right? Tell me how you
Yes.
feel.
I feel this was I know you're not a therapist, but this was excellent because I did not the stuff that you mentioned, I never thought about it. But now I know I definitely need to go to therapy because I need help.
1000%.
Yes, but I will definitely be doing this. I am safe now. Every day I get up, I will
I
be
am
saying
safe
that.
now.
Throughout the
I am
day,
safe now.
I will be safe.
Yes,
So,
yes. I am safe now. The people connected to me are safe now. My
yeah,
success is safe now. My success
yeah,
creates safety. All those things. You watch this episode back, you get these affirmations. For those of you, I know there's somebody else who's watching this. I know we're pulling at somebody's heart posture and their heartstrings right now because this is more common than you think it is. We associate our previous experiences with what's actually happening now, and you deserve to break free from that. You deserve to say, this is who I used to be, but this is who I am now. I am safe now. The people around me are safe now. My success is safe now. My success creates safety now. Those are your those are your therapeutic affirmations that you will speak every single day until you believe it. And I don't know if you saw my Instagram post the other day, but I record my affirmations. I literally will sit here and turn on my voice recorder on my phone, hold it just like this. I am safe now. The people around me are safe now. My success is safe now. My success creates safety for other people now. My success creates safety. I am successful now. I deserve to win. I deserve to flourish. I deserve this abundance. My abundance will free other people. My abundance will save other people. My abundance will provide for other people. And then I take this recording, and everywhere I go, in my car, on my AirPods, wherever, I'm listening to it in the background because subconsciously it is developing my belief system. Subconsciously it's helping me to believe a different narrative about myself. And I suggest that you do that very same thing. That's step one.
Yes. Implementing that for sure.
Implementing that for sure. And watch
Yes.
when you allow success to be your story, starting here first, just starting here
Mhm.
first, how this will show up in other areas of your life. Be prepared, Judene, to be a brand new woman. I cannot wait. I am so excited for you.
Me too. I'm excited for it. Yes.
I'm so excited for you. Tell everybody where to find you because I know that this transition that you have in your mind and this transition that you have in your heart is going to show on your social media. Tell us how to find you.
You can find me at on Instagram at Wedding Stationery Mentor, and I see you there invitations both and on Instagram.
All right, let's get it. For those of you who are watching this Figuring It Out with Donni episode of Full Transparency, comment your thoughts below. Leave some words of encouragement. If you've got direct experience with this and you have overcome it, right? Share some strategies with Judene here. If you have an outstanding therapist that has helped you to overcome it, let's also send some referrals. And let's remember that people are dealing with real life. This entrepreneurial journey is not just about the business. This is why I believe in coaching from a holistic perspective. It is tough for me to sit and give Judene all of the trade secrets on how to be an amazing coach when I know that in the back of her mind, deep, deep down inside, these are the challenges that she deals with. So we have to stop and take care of what's causing us the most pain so that we can free ourselves to accept the success. I cannot wait to see you guys' comments for this particular episode. Follow Judene. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And I will see you next week in the next episode of Full Transparency. Bye.